Football is not just a game, it's history, full of forgotten faces and incredible moments. Today, we will bring to life the earliest and rarest photos, uncovering the roots of the beautiful game. This is what the world's oldest football club, Sheffield FC, looked like in the 19th century. Here's Notts County, the first professional club. Their black and white kits would later inspire Juventus. The 1930 World Cup final, the moment when international football truly began. Let's step back in time and see it in colour. Among the participants of the 1930 World Cup, Argentine Francisco Varallo lived the longest, reaching 100 years. The World Cup was held in Uruguay, and the hosts won it. Here is a photograph of the team that made history. Many will also be interested to see what the first teams of the most popular clubs in the world looked like. Real Madrid in 1902. The club was just starting its journey. Let's see them come to life. And it was only more than 50 years later that Real Madrid won the Champions League. This was the first edition of the tournament. We must also mention Miguel Muñoz, who participated in this tournament. Later, he became one of the greatest coaches of Real Madrid and the right-hand man of Santiago Bernabeu. Barcelona's first team from 1899. These were the pioneers who built a dynasty. One of the greatest coaches of Barcelona in the 20th century was Helenio Herrera. He led the team to 2 La Liga titles and a Cup Winners' Cup victory in 1960. The first Copa del Rey tournament in 1903 was won by Athletic Bilbao. The first FA Cup final took place at Kennington Oval on March 16, 1872, between Wanderers and Royal Engineers. Wanderers won the match 1-0. And here is what the first trophy of this historic tournament looked like. Football wasn't always what it is today. It was shaped by great minds like Herbert Chapman, the man who introduced tactics and formations. Victor Maslov, the father of pressing football long before it became popular. One of the highlights of his coaching career was his success with Dynamo Kiev in the 1960s, when the team won the 1961 Cup Winners' Cup, and his methods were highly praised on the international stage. Bela Gutmann, who led Benfica to European glory and left behind a legendary curse. Eusebio, Bela Gutmann, and Coluna posing with the European Cup. 1962. Hugo Meisel was an Austrian football coach and one of the greatest tacticians of his time, known as the founder of the Viennese school of football. He managed the Austrian national team in the 1920s and 1930s and was the mastermind behind the dominant Vienna team, which ruled European football during that period. The forgotten footballers of the past, one of them is Arthur Friedenreich, the first great Brazilian striker, said to have scored over 1,300 goals. We also can't forget Lucien Laurent, who scored the first goal in the first World Cup in 1930. He played for the French national team and passed away at the age of 97 in 2005. Dixie Dean, Everton's unstoppable goal machine of the 1920s. In the 1927 to 1928 season, Dixie Dean scored 60 goals in the Premier League for Everton. This record has remained unbroken for over 90 years. Matthias Sindelar, the legendary Austrian footballer of the 1930s, is known not only for his skill, but also for the mystery surrounding his death. After Austria was annexed by Nazi Germany in 1938, he refused to play for the German national team, openly expressing his opposition. Giuseppe Meazza was a legendary Italian footballer, a 2-time World Cup winner. He was so talented and charismatic that he was allowed to skip training sessions at Inter. Here, Pelé celebrates his 1,000th career goal, scored on November 19, 1969, from a penalty at the Maracana Stadium. This moment became a historic milestone in football, and Pelé was recognized as the greatest athlete of the century. The photo shows the Rennes lineup in the 1956 Champions League final. And here is the moment of the trophy presentation to the winner, Real Madrid. One would like to highlight a player like Alfredo Di Stefano, who participated in this final. His contribution to football is widely recognized. Until 1902, Manchester United was known by a different name, Newton Heath. It was a factory team. Sir Matt Busby was the greatest early manager of Manchester United, laying the foundation for the club as one of the world's football giants. His impact on Manchester United is so profound that a statue of Busby stands outside Old Trafford. Stanley Matthews spent much of his career at Blackpool and Stoke City, and he became the first player to win the Ballon d'Or in 1956, recognizing his outstanding contributions to football. Here is the very first team of the football club Bayern Munich. Franz Beckenbauer is considered the greatest legend in the history of Bayern Munich. He is one of the most significant and respected footballers and coaches of the club, as well as one of the greatest players of all time. Ferenc Puskás was so prolific in scoring goals that FIFA named an award after him, the Puskás Award, given annually for the best goal of the year. Despite his short and stocky build, he had an incredibly powerful left foot, earning him the nickname the Galloping Major. Henri Delaunay was one of the key figures behind the creation of the FIFA World Cup, but he did not live to see the first tournament in 1930. Rinus Michels changed football by creating total football, where players could freely switch positions. His style made the game more dynamic and unpredictable, and his Netherlands team at the 1974 World Cup inspired generations of coaches. Johnny Haynes. In 1961, England lifted the £20 per week wage cap, and everyone expected Johnny Haynes to become football's first millionaire. But he remained loyal to Fulham, rejecting offers from Manchester United and Inter Milan. One day, they too will be just history.